What's up, everybody? It's your man Chuck Creekmur, aka Jigsaw, and you are here at All Hip Hop. And we are here with one of the brightest talents in hip hop today, Lady London. What's going on?
Nothing. What's going on with you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you
Good.
for joining us on the platform.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Cool, cool. So first things first, um, you're this is something that I usually don't read bios because generally that's just what they want to feed you. And, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do my research and then whatever. But I saw that you were your uncle is Chino XL. And that
hmm
I knew that, but I didn't exactly retain that information when I first heard about you.
hmm
So I don't mean to jump out the window all quick in the interview, but I thought that was a dope little piece of information. Do you think that lyricism is in the blood, or is that like non-related?
Um, I'm sure it's influential. Growing up with him, I really didn't have an interest in rap music when I was growing up, so I don't know. But he's been such a pivotal part of my life, so I definitely think it was definitely some influence there for sure.
Definitely cool. So what sort of got you? Lyricism is something in hip hop right now that's not necessarily revered or loved, or purists do, but others may say, oh, like you said in the beginning of Never, it's kind of like I don't want to hear all big words or whatever, but it seems like you're pretty committed. Um, what keeps you sort of not falling into, dumbing down the art?
You know what's crazy? I wrestled with myself for a good part of my career, and just trying to like chase a hit record or like, assimilate to the crowd. But I found that my strength is in standing out. And I didn't want it to take me a lifetime of regret to figure that out. I think I got my notoriety by standing out, and I think if I continue to do it, I think I'll be just fine. So I love lyricism. I think it's the heart of music, and I think that music is a science, rap is a science, and I think once people start really taking it seriously again, we can see some great things in culture.
So hip hop, hip hop's people always ask me what I think about the state of hip hop, and I maintain it's in a healthy space right now. Um, you know, we've seen it change, which is normal. But
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on it right now?
I think it also is in a healthy space. I think that hip hop cannot be confined or distinctively defined, especially we have to change something, otherwise it all just kind of sounds the same, stays the same. I think everyone has a lane that they occupy right now. And so I'm really happy to see like just the different versions, especially all the women that's coming in, like just the different versions of seeing everybody in their particular craft and doing it their way is dope to me. So I think we put a new face to hip hop and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, definitely. And it feels like it's sort of like women are really, I don't want to say taking over, but like really
Mhm.
claiming that space and notoriety. It's not like, oh, and this is no disrespect to anyone, but saying, there's the main rapper and the crew, and then they have like the one woman or girl in the crew. You know what I'm saying? It
Uh-huh.
always seemed like they were like a companion piece to a whole squad or whatever, and not
hmm
the main thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's true.
I've noticed you.
Yeah.
You don't seem to be real big on cosigns. I don't see rapping with like jumping on tracks with everybody.
Mhm.
Intentional, or are you taking like sort of this cosigneless direction, or what would you attribute that to?
I don't know if it's really intentional more so than it is that I never really wanted to live in anyone's shadow on the way coming out. I've always wanted to pave my own way for things. And even so much, it's crazy because it took very long for us to even, say that my uncle was my uncle, just because it was like we didn't want the idea of hip hop nepotism to come up, or like it was this idea that you're like, oh, of course you have this because this one, your family with this person. And it's like, I worked too hard. I put in entirely too much work on my own. I've put in my 10,000 hours to master the craft. And so it was important for me to pave my own way, where it's kind of like you come out as even in like relationships. I don't want to come out as such and such as girlfriend. Like I have to be myself first before I'm, you know, attributed to somebody else co-signing me. So I'm kind of big on that.
Cool. I didn't mean to lead off like that, by the way.
No, it's no worries. It's no worries.
But I will say this: nepotism is really not always a bad thing. You know, I look at like just kids and others as well, and I think they hold up on their own a lot of times. Most times, sometimes it's like, oh, here we go. But with Black people's kids, we tend to really want to represent in a way that doesn't look crazy, like say Donald Trump and his kids. Not trying to politicize anything, but
right, I get you.
them like, okay, y'all just here because Daddy put you there, not like
right.
Um, can you talk about the song "Never" a little bit? It's a pretty deep song. It's heavy. It's got like so much inside of it. It alludes to different legal things and relationship stuff. Like what what's up with that?
Never was probably the most intentional record that I've ever done. And it happened at a time where I just felt like the whole world was crashing down on me at once. And I guess I was just ready to release. I think what really made me write the song was because my hard drive had crashed. And I lost everything. All material that I had done in the last 2 years was gone. I had recorded in China, in Greece, in Dubai. Things were gone. And so I think for me, I was like, damn, like, what is the sign? Like, what is this supposed to be? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I went to record that. And of course, like, I start off by saying I was in some legal trouble early on in my career. That obviously, I say that I can't speak about it in detail or whatever, but and then I just go on and really kind of like bleed my soul on a record because it was very personal for me. And I remember finishing it and going, this is going to be the intro to my project. And I don't care what nobody thinks about it. Like, I don't care. And I knew what I wanted visionary wise to shoot the video. Like, I knew I felt like a caged bird. I knew I wanted to be like in a jail space. Like, I had a lot of symbolism with it. And so I was just really excited to put it out. And I'm glad that people can feel what I felt in creating it. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. Speaking of projects, I mean, I can't, listen, I can't imagine losing that much music and putting that much heart and soul. Plus, my first thought was, where's her album? And now, obviously, it probably was the material that you lost. You recovered at all? Like, what's the building process now with regard to, putting out the album?
I probably recovered about 35% of it. So it's still a process. I'm still like getting through it all, but in my perfect world, my project will be out by the end of the year. And so hopefully, I'm just a perfectionist, and I just want to make sure that it's good. I think I have a lot of eyes on me right now, and just a lot of like expectations that I have to live up to.
Yeah. Now, perfection is there's a quote: you'll never achieve it. Have you ever found that you are overthinking at times?
All the time. I literally rent apartment space in my head. Like, I know I overthink. And I said this when I was on another interview. I know that perfection is a moving target. I just, for some reason, still trying to throw my dart at it, or at least as close as possible. That way I feel satisfied with it. I would like to close my eyes when I listen to my project and go, okay, yeah, that's it. The way I felt about Never is how I want to feel about the whole body of work. Like, I'm okay with it. So,
So how do you look at whatever wherever you get music from or hear it, whatever, and look at the whack rapper and you're like, and they got like 1 billion streams or half a zillion or whatever. Do you ever feelings? Do you ever like, oh my God, like?
No, I never do. I use it as motivation because I believe that they were their true selves in creating it. Yeah. So like for me, it was like, as long as they were comfortable with it, it worked because they came as themselves and people could appreciate it. And so that's really it. I don't want to slight myself in any way. I don't want to give out a product that I'm not proud of and that I can't put my face behind proudly. So now, jealousy or envy is not really a trait of mine, but I do get inspired by those things. So
Now,
yeah.
um, also I looked at your short bio, which is on the website, and I saw you went to.
That's right, HU, the real HU.
Oh, you're one of those. Now, are you one of the people?
Yeah,
HU. You.
yeah, I'm serious about that. I'm very serious.
Yeah. So that's just I always tell the story. Whenever I meet somebody from Howard, I'll be like, yo, I wanted to go to Howard so bad.
Mm-hmm.
My godmother conspired against me because my godmother lives in DC, and she,
Okay.
oh, it's so dangerous. You can't send him there. He'll, something's gonna happen. So my mom wouldn't let me go to Howard. I got accepted too, and I've never gotten over it. Really, for real, for real.
Yeah, I get it. Where'd you end up going?
Delaware State.
What is it?
Delaware State.
Which state?
Delaware State.
Delaware. Oh,
You
oh no, that was Delaware State. Sorry, it was going out every time you said the word.
we trying to stay Del State.
Yeah, Del State. Okay, I hear you. I hear you.
The odd thing about that is Del State was crazy as hell. So
It's still crazy. It's definitely still.
we were not safe all the time at Del State. So but anyway, moving on. College, bachelor's degree, master's degree, like you're smart.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
not always a beloved trait in hip hop, to be honest with you. How much of that goes into the rhymes, the lyricism, the intellect, even? You know what I mean? How much of your college experience goes in there?
Nearly all of it, I would say. I grew up with a very wide vocabulary, or broad vocabulary, if you will. I'm Jamaican. My grandmother used to make me read the dictionary. My mother made me read the dictionary. Encyclopedias, volume 1 through 113 was in my house as a child. So I don't hide from my intelligence. I think it again is my strong point as well. And yeah, I think a lot of my college experience and just all around intellect is put into my rhythmical composition pretty much all the time.
Yeah, that's funny. I was
Definitely.
interviewing a rapper named Young Devin. She's from Brooklyn.
Yeah, I know her.
She said almost the exact same thing as you just now. She's
She's
Trinity.
Trini. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm half Trini too. Fact.
yeah, that's what's up. Now you got a cosign, Cardi B. You got you
Mhm.
haven't gotten like on the mic with certain people, but you did get a Cardi B cosign and a Diddy cosign. How was that for
Mhm.
you? Like that's big.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, Cardi, I talk about her every time. I love her. I love her energy. I love her authenticity. And she's always supported all the young girls coming up, and I really could appreciate that idea to like lift back and climb. I'm really into that myself. So it's just an honor, honestly, to watch the people that even Puff, like you grew up listening to them, you grew up kind of like seeing the whole thing, and it's like, wow, I actually speak to these people now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a full circle moment. And I'm just living in it, trying to experience it while I can and
Yeah,
take it all in.
that's what's up. Do you have a dream collaboration?
I would love to do a Drake and Jay-Z record. That would be like my dream. That's possible, yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. My next question was going to be, has Drake hit you up yet? Because
I wish.
it just
I
seems,
wish.
yeah, it just seems like
Uh,
he would reach out. Yeah.
yeah, in due time, I'm sure. I'm sure. Just as soon as I start putting some records out, I think.
Yeah, and the funny thing about Drake, and I always show him love because is that he does records with people like, and it's like he doesn't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
a lot of the people he works with, it's not that they don't have talent and stuff, but it just seems like he's just giving people like that extra career push,
Mhm.
out of love and respect for the art. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I rock.
Yeah.
Of course, Jay. Jay's in my top 5, easy. And
Easy.
yo, as much as I love this new Nas album, and this is absolutely no shade or any of that. We always seem to debate about Nas, Jay, blah blah blah. So
Mhm.
I love Nas, but I always just can't seem to take my own personal preference out of it, no matter how great Nas. This new Nas album is incredible, but I just love Jay. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I don't
I
know.
get you.
I don't know.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Speaking of which, can we get your top 5 dead or alive?
You know, it's crazy because it does change. It does change often, but the top three pretty much stay where they are. I always say Jay-Z, Kiss, and L will always be like my top.
Mhm.
Big L.
Oh, Big L, Big L. Oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's wow. You have to before you go to the other two. Talk about Big L. Like, what was it about him? Like, he's
You
dope.
know,
Always.
Big L, it's weird. He reminds me of myself. And I say that because he's kind of the underdog. He never got to fully show his discography because he passed away too early. But what he does have in the marketplace, and I feel that way about my freestyles and just all that I've put into the craft and all that I've been known for, is that we could leave this earth today going down as a legend for what you have done. And I feel that way about myself. Like, you know, like people have to put me in those conversations. Like, oh, she's ridiculous for real, regardless of whether I have a discography or not. And so L kind of gives me that nostalgia of like self, I guess. And just to watch him go bar for bar with Jay and, you know, the 97 freestyle, 96 freestyle, it's like, okay. You know, it was one of the first people I heard that could spar with Jay. You know, I'm a big Jay fan like yourself. So it's like going back and forth with him was really intense. So I love L. Yeah.
What about the
I
other?
would say him. So Jay, Kiss, L. I love Drake. I think Drake is moving his way into top 5. He has to be undisputedly. Big. But then I have an extension, right? Because I always say like Stack Bundles, Styles P, Slick Rick. I gotta give Eminem, like I have to put him somewhere. Like it makes no sense not to. And then it's just a list of other people. But I'm like a rapper. Like I love rap. I love hip hop. And so it would just be, I could just go on for days in no particular order. But I guess that would be, yeah, my top 5.
Now, how did you feel? I know you had to see the verses and seeing the locks, Dipset, and then Jada just becoming this incredible standout of everyone.
I'm so happy he got that opportunity to do that because I've been saying Jada was top 5 dead or alive my whole life. And people are starting to be like, okay, let me take a step back and go back to his discography and see exactly what it was. Like his stamina, he's in great shape. He's in like lyrically and just in general, he's shown what I've already known. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy to see that price went up, like Fat Joe said. Price has gone up.
Yeah, I was like, let's pull out our Spotify. Let me see your Spotify. You talk, you've been a fan forever. Let's see it, because my Spotify shows a whole lot of locks, a whole lot of Styles P. Because Styles P, he puts in a lot of work, and definitely a lot of Jadakiss. And I love Sheik too, but he never promotes his projects, so it always passes me by. But Jada.
Gotcha.
And Styles is, I don't even know how he does it.
Incredible.
Definitely. Now you've kind of bounced around a lot, well, a little bit, between New York,
Jersey, New
Jersey.
York, Jersey, DC, and California. I would say was like, you know, everywhere.
How does that? How do those? Like, what has each place given you?
Well, when I was growing up, I grew up within the same 20-mile radius of each other between Jersey and New York, so it really wasn't much of a difference with that. You know, my family was between both areas, so I mean, it all kind of felt the same. It gave you that like hustle, like, you know, you got to get to it, do what you got to do. And then DC was a shift for me when I went to college. You know, it made me the woman that I am, I think. I had went there like, I don't know, just with a different mindset and meeting people from different walks of life and different places, and just being from up under my mom, where I only saw one way of living, you know what I'm saying, to go to that, but I met new people was crazy. And then when I moved to California, I was 22. I had like a couple dollars in my pocket that I had saved from bartending, you know what I mean, and I went to get my master's when I moved out here, I didn't have nowhere to live when I first moved to California. You know, I went to go stay with a friend of mine in Koreatown. We was there for like 9 days, and then I moved on campus, and I kind of like started my way up from here. And I've been here for this week my 5th year here. So in LA. So you know, I've definitely made my way around, but I'm a loner and I work well by myself. I've always worked well by myself. Um, so yeah, staying in my word, staying straight, I'm good.
Would you consider yourself an introvert or?
I am. I think I'm an introvert that can be social.
Okay, yeah, that's an
Yeah.
amnivert, I think. Yeah.
Oh, there's a word for it. I have to look that up. I didn't know that.
Ambivert, or something like that. Yeah, there's a word for it though.
Okay.
I study the introvert life a lot, and I'm just like, I'm not shy like I used to be. So I'm like, there's something else here. You know,
Right. What's your sign?
I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, I love Aquarius. Okay, dope. Huh?
What's your sign?
I'm a Cancer. True and true.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's what's up.
Big Cancer.
Word. So Cali, so you've been there for 5 years. So you kind of
Yeah.
ahead of the curve a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like the New York migration. I think at least, you know, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people started going out there. Um, has is there a big difference in how people receive you and your music? Is it better? Is it, you know, but does it matter?
It's comparable. It's comparable. I think that music now is so diverse that you can appreciate it from any from any coast. I remember when I first moved here, I hated West Coast music. I hated that shit. I used to be like, this, it's just not my vibe. I don't know. I just be in parties like, I don't know. But now I'm like, just like them. I like YG and I like, you know, Nipsey and everybody else out here. So I'm like, okay, it's assimilation, you know. But everybody has been having great feedback. I think rap is good. Rap is rap. When you love rap, you know, like regardless of where you're from, you have a good appreciation for it. Even I get love in the South, I get love in the Midwest, I get love in the West Coast. So
Social media seems to be a big part of your brand, as well as, you know, people hearing you.
mhm,
Talk about a little bit just like how important that is, and what keeps you putting, like for me, you know, I used to rhyme a lot, and
mhm,
I wrestle with putting bars out there without being on a song or without a product attached or even a performance, just kind of in the social
mhm,
media world. Like, do you
mhm.
reuse those bars? Like, like, how does that work?
Well, for one, they're all copywritten, so I don't worry about nothing doing nothing with anything.
Okay.
Um, and then two, yeah, sometimes I recirculate bars. It depends though, very rarely, because I don't want people to be like, oh, I heard that before. Like, I guess if I do it, I put like one line into another song that I use from something else, but never the whole verse. But I think social media and building it right now and where we are in society is huge. It's a huge component of everything. It's actually what put me on. You know, I was on a full track to med school. Like I was in school. I had no intention on rapping, but me putting, you know, like doing Lady Mondays every week, dropping freestyles every Monday, got me from 10,000 followers to 600,000 followers, and all of that was huge. I had endorsement deals coming and I had record deals coming and I had all types of shit that I was like, oh, okay. All of this off of Instagram? You know, because I used to make fun of people like, yo, your followers don't equal money. Yes, it does.
Mm,
Yes, it does.
mm.
It does equal money. And I learned that, you know, and so consistency is the key in anything that you do because it builds muscle memory. It keeps you like, you know, it's just like an athlete being in the gym. So yeah, social media is important. It's critical right now. You have to have it as much as I don't want it. I mean, I'm a Cancer. I get in my feelings a lot about what people got to say online, but you grow tough skin and you get through it because the bigger picture is always, you know, more profitable at the end.
What other things do you want to do? I mean, you don't just do what I mean, you know, all that schooling and just.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not gonna say and just be a rapper, but it there will be other things for you on the horizon.
Yeah, I want to get into a little bit of everything. I think like life is a highway. I intend to occupy every lane while I'm here. You know, I would love to get into philanthropy. I love to get into global health on a bigger spectrum as far as like giving back to under I don't know, under-facilitated, underprivileged, you know what I'm saying, communities where they don't have access to premium healthcare. I would love to get into that. Just, you know, more fashion, more, you know, I don't know, arts, education, Black family, develop everything, just everything. You know what I mean? So.
Seeing what Rihanna did with Fenty, I'm looking at anything music related just a little different because I'm like, okay, she's a billionaire like that. I'm like, I want new music from her, and now I'm like, okay, well, it makes sense why she's not jumping to.
Yeah, everybody's goal should be Rihanna. Everybody's goal should be that, literally. I mean, no musician has solely made all of their profit off of music.
Yeah,
I have read somewhere, and it was like a very good thing to say. They say, yeah, the average millionaire or multimillionaire has 7 streams of income, but before they had 7 streams of income, they focused on one and got it to the top so that they could have the ability and the time to do 7 other means of income. Because if you have 7 means of income, you have to facilitate all of these different things at once, and then none of them ever take off because you're working on all of them at once. So if you take off with the music, then you can acquire other streams of income and it comes in. You know what I mean? Jay-Z's not a billionaire off of just his music. You know what I'm saying? He got stocks and title and in Ace of Spade and, you know, several other things that he has up his sleeve. So I think you have to look at the bigger picture, and branding is so important along the way so that people can see you as a brand and not just as an artist. Because when you get typecasted as an artist, no one wants to work with you in any other capacity because you look as if you can't serve in any other capacity. So.
Yeah, there's a good book by Robert Greene called Mastery, and that's anybody looking to, like you said, lock down one thing to grow other things.
Right.
So, great book. All his books. He did the 48 Laws of Power. He's
okay. Yeah, I read that. Okay, gotcha.
my favorite author, I think. I'm pretty sure. I've read everything except the 50 Cent book he did, and I was kind of like, oh, he doing it with a rapper, and then people told me that's his best book, so I gotta stop prejudging. That's my bad.
How you got all hip hop and you prejudging that he did it with a rapper?
Because I'll tell you why. I'm the kind of guy. I'm the kind of person that's like, I love, I don't know, like freaking Blade. I don't know, whatever. I mean, I'm looking at my books and I'm like Blade Runner or whatever. But like I'm a comic nerd, so I put it like, so I'm a comic nerd, right?
Okay.
Reading comic books, and now everybody is like thinking they know something because they watched a couple movies, and I'm like, what? Now everybody's wearing superhero clothes, and I'm like, come on, like that's our thing, my thing. Now everybody's on it. So Robert Greene, I just felt like, that's our thing. Whoever we is. And so when he did it with, I was just like, how typical. You know what I mean?
You never know.
It's my bad. I was wrong. I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong with that. Dead wrong. So
have more faith in our hip hop community, please.
Hey man, I do, because I'm looking at moves 50's making. I'm looking at Jay, and I'm like, yo, we need more revenue streams to my business partner. Like, what's good? Like, we've been here a minute. It's really time the brand. So we're working on that. So speaking on expanding the brand, what's next for you?
I've really been transitioning into TV and film lately. On the writing side, more specifically, I would love to get into any type of directorial or production role. Ideally, I mean, I wrote a book when I was 23 and self-published it. And so I would love to see it turn into a movie in due time. But of course, I have no rush on that. I have a lot of short-term projects that I'm trying to like wrap my head around. But yeah, I would like in the near future. Transitioning to TV and film besides just soundtracks, actually acting in them and getting a directorial portion and things as well.
Dope. Anything else you wanted to tell folks out here in these digital streets?
Man, just stay patient and stay patient with me and my craft, and I promise I'll do my best not to let everyone down.
Nah, I don't think that's possible, honestly. Based on the lyricism, the songs that I have heard, I don't see too much in being I don't see too much disappointment on the horizon. Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't see that. I definitely would love to see you work with a few people. I don't know who, because
Mhm.
like it would have to be artistically right, like not just to do
Mhm.
something, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
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 Well, oh, your name. I seen a little
Yeah.
chat in that, like, oh, she's not from London, blah blah blah. You know,
I'm not from London.
what's behind your name?
So lady comes from boss lady, and it's just kind of like who I am in general, just a boss in my own right. And it's taken this time throughout my life, people calling me it throughout my life. And London is actually from Lauren London. When I was in high school, people used to say we looked alike because we both had dimples, and I had blonde hair at the time. So people really used to walk past me like Rashad, like new, like So it really was my Instagram name,
Okay.
like Lady London. And then when I started dropping freestyles, I never changed my Instagram name, so it just became automatically my rap name. I don't know if I would have ever entered with it. That probably wouldn't have been my goal, but we this far, and people know me as what they know me as, and so.
It's so funny because
It's
I was gonna when you said acting, I was gonna say that, and I was like, I don't know how people about that. Sometimes they don't like it or whatever, but yeah, I see.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had a more interesting story, but it's just literally it's just that.
You can play Lauren London in the Nipsey Hussle movie. I know it's coming.
Mm,
It's coming. I think. I think that's
yes.
yeah.
I would love to sit with her for character development for that. We could definitely do that. I got to get my LA accent down
Right.
pat.
Definitely, definitely. I'm sure you'll work it out for sure, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
salute. Thank you for your time.
Hello.
We'll we'll stay tuned. I'm sure we'll talk again when the album drops and when some of these other projects. In the meantime, team, if there's any little developments, like I try to tell people, by the way, like the whatever you call the mainstream, like whatever you call them. I don't want to separate anybody, but I'll just say this: like, folks have like massive PR teams working every angle. Meanwhile, like some of the other people, they're like, oh, I don't, whatever. Like if you have a project you're working on, if you have any like information, even if it's a rumor, like, oh, did a song with Drake and like whatever, like we heard type of thing. Just let us know because we continue to like really love rap artists that what I'm not trying to we love balance in the culture.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We want to uplift all boats should rise, not just
Right.
6ix9ine and Kodak. You know what I'm saying? Like all boats should rise. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Right. I get you. We'll keep you definitely in the loop, and thank you for having me there. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.